Alright, so today we are going to finish, let's go over the homework. And let's see here, problem number 1. I asked you to find the components of y is equal to 1/2 x plus 2 squared minus 3. So our center would be hk, so we're going to the left 2 and down 3. The way we get our focus is we take -2, and then we're going to go with -3 plus 1 over 4a. Our directrix would be y is equal to k minus 1 over 4a. And if you simplify this, you'll get -2 and -2.5. And if we simplify this, you'll get y is equal to -3 1/2. The length of the LR is going to be 1 over the absolute value of 1/2, or 2 units. For problem number 2, we have the focus is 5, -1, and the directrix is y is equal to 3. And so let's see here. We know that this would be h, and this is k plus 1 over 4a. We know that this is k minus 1 over 4a. So when we go to make our equation, right away we know that we have x minus 5. But now we know that -1 is equal to k plus 1 over 4a. And we know we have 3 is equal to k minus 1 over 4a. So we get 2 is equal to 2k. K would be 1. If we were to plug 1 back in for k, we would get that a would equal -1/8. So we get our equation y is equal to -1/8 times x minus 5 squared plus 1. For problem number 3, we have 26x minus 80 plus y is equal to 2x squared. So get the y by itself. We can start completing the square. Half of 13 is 13 over 2. Squared would be 169 over 4. Times 2 is 169 over 2. And then we have to subtract 169 over 2. So we get that y is equal to 2 times x minus 13 over 2 squared. And then this would be minus 9/2. So that's our vertex form. The vertex would be 13 over 2, comma, -9/2. Our focus would be 13 over 2, comma, -9/2, plus 1 over 4a. Our directrix would be -9/2 minus 1 over 4a. So just simplifying here, the focus would be 13 over 2, and this would turn into -35 over 8. And the directrix would be y is equal to -37 over 8. For circles, if we have the equation x squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 2y plus 9 equals 0, we can have x squared plus 6x plus y squared minus 2y. Half of 6 is 9, or half of 6 is 3, 3 squared is 9. That's, of course, factoring out a 1 first. And once we factor out a 1 here, half of -2 is -1, -1 squared is 1. So this would be x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared This would be 8. Let me see here. 1. So let me see here. What did I forget to do? 9 times 1 is 9, so we subtract 9. 1 times 1 is 1, so we subtract 1. So when we bring these cancel, and you just have 1 on the other side. So our center would be -3, 1, and our radius would be 1 unit. For number 5, that one's pretty easy. It just says x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 1. So our center would be 3, 2. The radius would just be the square root of 1, or 1 unit. And we have one more, problem number 6. It says we have the center of a circle is -1, 4, and we have a point on a circle is -5, -2. So this would be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals h squared. If the center is -1, 4, that's going to turn into +1 and -4. And if you have a point on the edge of a circle, well, all the points on a circle are equidistant from the center, and that point on the circle would be -5, -2. So this would be 4 squared, which is 16. 6 squared is 36. And if we're asked to come up with an equation of a circle, it looks like it would just be x plus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to the radius squared. Alright, so that concludes your homework. Stay tuned for today's lesson.